And they call this winter. This is the middle of winter. A beautiful day here at Thornybush. Welcome to our live drive this afternoon. My name is Mark, and we will be heading out for a couple of hours here at Thornybush. Thornybush Private Nature Reserve. Wonderful to take you along with our cameras. I know we don't have much time left, so I'm hoping we can fill this time with some of the best that we can offer, or some amazing things. You know what, Aaron? Actually, there's that impala lily that you found.
Up there.
No, it's not up here. It's actually up there.
Up there.
Okay, so we'll go around. Okay, we're going to go into the sun a bit.
Oh, it is up there.
We'll go Hamakop loop and then we'll come around.
Okay, let's do that.
Or the other way around. But we'll try and find that for you, because I've been meaning to do that for a while. I want to try and find a flower for the ladies, a new flower every day for the next 3 days. That's all we have. Barring today, 6 more drives. So this is our 7th last drive. And yes, I'm counting. It's like the kid that's going on holiday that counts the sleeps before holiday starts. We've got a bit of a different countdown. 7 more drives till we part company for a while. And who knows when we'll see each other again. So we're going to try and do what we can. We're going to try and make the most of the next 7 drives and hopefully see some wonderful things. Starting with a really good flower. I'm hoping that the rain that we had last week didn't interrupt its flowering, because unfortunately that can happen with an impala lily. They like to flower in the dry season. And well, we had that whole 2 days of rain that might have changed things. I noticed the flowers at the gate. There's some impala lilies outside the main gate. Of course we can't get there with the vehicle, because it's not the gate that we see from here. Because there's a buffer zone in between here and there. But they don't have any flowers anymore. I came in from my shopping yesterday, because I like to take photos of them. I like to see every time I'm with an impala lily, because there are very few insects that pollinate the impala lily, and one of them is the little mocha bee, or the little mapani bee. And there might not be mapani trees here, but there's certainly mocha bees, not only associated with mapani. They're a tiny, very, very tiny bee. They're about the size of a fruit fly. And they're one of the only other species of social bees that produce the honey, other than the honeybee. In fact, remarkable doesn't even cut it. Remarkable doesn't even come close. These little children. I'm going to begin the Thursday. My water's frozen. I put it in the freezer. In the old days, in the heat of summer, this would be gone. Ice, a litre and a half of pure ice would be gone in less than half an hour. That'll probably stay icy for most of the drive. Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday drive. Sunday evening we say goodbye. Roughly a day's worth of hours, in fact not even 21 hours worth of live broadcast. What can we do with those 21 hours? And I'm going to throw it out to you. There are a number of you that have been with us all along from the beginning to now, even from just not only the Thornybush beginning, but even the previous beginning. A lot of you who haven't even not haven't anything. There's a lot of people who have been silent viewers, shy to send in questions or footprints in the road from today. That means that patrol came by us, anti-poaching patrol. This flower is so special. This flower is a thank you from me and Andy and David and Aaron. From the four of us left out of the crew that began, we've had some what do they call it? Casualties of war. There's another name. People join us and leave, and they are just as much part of a thank you from me and incorporating them in the Wild Earth thank you over the next few days that I'm going to be keeping thanking you. I think it was still back there, eh? Might help if we turn around and we're not looking into the sun. But there's a flower here that I've posted photos. There it is. I've posted photos of this flower from home and from other places. But no, we've also had it live on drive when I've driven into the parking lot of Wiyasela. So we've actually never found one in the wild, and I would say that this is probably one of the first we find in the wild, still in flower. I'm going to get as close as I can, like there. Is that any good? Oh, well, right. Actually, that might be better, because then you'll incorporate more blossoms in the shot. Sabalala. Heading straight north on the road that heads north. Turn that screen for me. I want to see what the image looks like.
What?
No, flip this.
That's a good idea.
Done. I've got a couple of guys suddenly talking about elephant tracks, and it's distracting me because it's elephants and it's tracks, and it's disappointing me because they're heading north. But we've got our own tracks to go and look for. This is known as the Impala lily. It is also known as the Sabi star. Sabi being a particular area here of the Lowveld, the Kruger National Park area. Doesn't matter. Desert rose is another name. It's also known as a desert rose. And that is purebred one. You get Swazicum, the Swaziland one, which is mostly pink. It doesn't have this differentiation between the white and the red. It's a mostly pink flower, but shaped the same, and the plant looks exactly the same, and they tend to flower more frequently, rather coming from Swaziland, it's a different species. And then they're hybrids. Humans have created hybrids that you can buy in nurseries. So if you're looking for it, it's called Adenium. I know some people have bought one in the States. Adenium multiflorum is our species. Adenium swazicum is the Swaziland species. Adenium. And that is a big thank you. The flower to thank you all for some wonderful messages. I managed to start reading. There was an e-card that came in, reading, and time started creeping along, and I thought, cool. I had no idea. And then I went to the end, and it was like 100 and something pages later. considering there's about 2 people saying thanks everybody on each page, there's like nearly 200 people that have sent wonderful messages, and could say thank you to each one of you individually. Okay, shall we find another flower? Make a great flower. We're not looking for animals, we're going to go and look for a flower. The flower we haven't seen. Oh, this huge cascula. Doesn't have a flower yet, sorry, while we're here. Look at that. It doesn't give us a blowout. That'll develop it's one of the Cracula family. Has a long stalk with some yellow, so we've seen while we've been here other succulents. Because then everything we see is a flower, even the worry. It's just green. From this patch of Thornybush, because the bush changes. In fact, driving north from here gives a very good idea how Thornybush vegetation and habitat changes as you go north from where we are, because there are a lot of species here that don't occur in the northern area of Thornybush, because you're starting to get into the Mopani belt up at the top of Thornybush. And Thornybush is so long north to south, almost like Kruger. Alright, not in the same scale, but in its own minuscule scale, that there's a very different biome or habitat type that occurs down here that is different to the northern region of Thornybush. Pity we haven't been able to get up there. I would love to be able to take a camera from here all through every single habitat all the way up to Kenya and start a project. This is what Africa looks like. And we start in the Cape and we drive a vehicle through the Cape Plainbush and we look at some of those beautiful plants, pincushions and proteas, the leucodendrons and the leucospermums, one of the greatest diversities of ericas. If any of you know what ericas are, I just had an erica move back to the Cape. I don't think she knows it. I don't think I've told her that she's moved to the biggest variety of ericas ever lived among. Beautiful flowers, well-shaped flowers, if you're interested in ericas. And probably one of the biggest families. But can you imagine, take a drive from there, and then we come through to Peru, and we go and visit old seabeds in Peru, not to mention the extant Peru, the Peru that lives now on a nice, full moon, semi-desert environment. Gondwana land. Still be choppy. Oh, I forgot. That was just a jet contrail with a thin little slot, and now it's turning into a cloud bank. Baja. No, that's a Freudian slip. Probably in Florida. White Sun helmet truck. Sadly the light isn't right. Oh, flying. This is for Racer, Aussie in the Netherlands. And there's your birders out there. A little flock of white crested helmet trucks. Used to be known as the white helmet truck. See that one? The light, sadly the light doesn't let us see colour. And if we have to look at them, they're in the sun. Little family group of them there. Oh, slow down. Mom, dad, their children from their last clutch and their children from their new clutch. So basically teenagers and nuclear. For those of you mixed families. We've got teenagers and then after a little while. We so miss having babies. And the whole baby thing, after 10, 11 years you decide you have more. That's kind of the equivalent of what something like white crested helmet truck. But Bobby was saying not to off-road, but she knows that we can't throw it unless we find the big fire. So I guess Bobby, we're just going to have to find an elephant or something so we can go off-road. But there's a man-made cloud forming almost a ring, an outer ring, but that's just the contrail of an aeroplane that was there about an hour ago that has just blown totally out of proportion and dragging a lot of cloud with it. So there must have been a lot of moisture that's coming out of that, attaching itself to those carbon molecules. That's what it is. Yeah, see now it's gone.
Oh, it's amazing, man. I was like,
It
what
was.
is that?
We can try and pick up another one, depending on our angle and the moisture in the side. It's actually getting thicker, that hole. If it gets thicker, we might even get a sweet sundog. Funny, I never knew it was called a sundog until I fell in love with an American. We just call them halos around the sun. Two viewers out of two viewers. How's the volume, Aaron? Normal.
You know what I think it is?
What?
Possibly the mic is
But it hasn't changed.
I think it's just aimed towards you more. Because it's like that's tilted up kind of at your head.
Maybe it was because I was looking sideways at the moon, at the sun. The moon. Could have been half sideways.
No, but I haven't.
No, it's better that it's in front of me and that it's here. Hello, little yellow boy. But that does block the fuel gauge, and I know that's why it went there.
Like, because you know, like
The thing is, I can't consciously be thinking about the volume of my voice. I'm talking from my heart. I can't be thinking about other things. I want people to feel what I'm talking about. But it's pointless me even saying anything if nobody's hearing anything.
They must reposition it.
765. Okay, we're gonna maybe from English. We might not, depending on how it works. We might do signaling through the river. How much that takes us in 2 minutes? So there's a serious sort of energy field coming from the west. Signal unlocked. A lot of guarri bush, a lot of combretum, a little bit of buffalo thorn and wattle, acacia, sticklebush. There's even a roof, a Korea worm, and a baby tambuti and a baby jackalberry, some round-leaf teak. We're on the northern edge of the Thornybush River and the southern tip of Thornybush Private Nature Reserve. I'm hoping that there's a herd of elephants that have come that have arrived down here and are really having fun in this riverbed amongst the reeds. A tiny little spot up ahead. If it was lunchtime, we would actually see an entire rainbow ring around the sun, what I call a halo, and I think that's what people sundogs. I'm not sure. Those of you in North America, what is your definition of a sundog? But there's some interesting crowd up there, being exacerbated or being enhanced or being changed in some way by the contrails of international flights that seem to be flying north to south. And consequently, not that bright. Now, not too bright anymore, so a bit of a subdued sun. What do we do from here? That's the question. shortcut to Spenny Road. So what does that mean? Yeah, but then you need to just recycle it, I mean. Never heard of elephants way up in the northeast. Sorry, I've got to talk to Gareth. Gareth, come in. I was looking at on Konzo this morning. They seem to come into this block between Spoko Speni and that Waxpool Ndonga system. Yeah, firm. I'm on my way up Bushula cut line to go to Speni. Okay, I'm about to turn onto Bushula Link. Do you want me to sort of head further south? Okay, it looks like the Mkonzo crossed north of that Donga, the Nkova system of Waxpool into the block. And I did Spoko this morning, but they didn't go north. Okay, copy. Okay, so I've got somebody with me on the elephant track. Let's keep 8 available. Oh, come on, guys, really? Listen to your radio. Gareth come in? Now Gareth, there was also some Konzo heading up Langwan Road towards the dam, and then from there going up to Nkonka Pan that Brad was on this morning. I don't know if it's the same in Love or they split up. Okay, so what you got for me now? I'm finished with that. David on FT, Aaron on cam, Mark on the wheel, hands on the wheel, 10 to 2. In Canada, where you been? Which are the tall grass grazers? Buffalo. See, rhino are more considered bulk grazers, and because of the way elephants eat, they're not really considered grazers because they're just sort of mixed feeders. So white or square-lipped rhino are just bulk grazers. Hippo tend to prefer shorter grasses too. So your main bulk grazers, or your main bulk tall grass grazers, are buffalo. But nice to hear from Joe Square. Funny, I thought of you the other day. Oh, that's what it is. Those big green tanks that we have. Every time I drive past them, I think of you, because the brand name of those water tanks is Jojo. Probably find there's even a website, jojo.coza, jojo.co.za. 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 5,000, 10,000 litre water tanks, green, UV resistant, plastic or whatever substance it is. Water tanks that 99% of us in the bush depend on. That elephants have learned to contain water and they try and get in them. And if they can't reach the tank, they know which pipe comes down with the water in, and they know which pipe goes up with the water. And they know the one that goes up for the tank doesn't have water in at the time, but the one that comes out of it. It doesn't take that much of a genius to figure that out, actually. So it's not like elephants are super intelligent, so they can figure out that they can open the down pipe, not the up pipe, to get the water out. Elephants this time of the year, and I'm not surprised, or I'll be surprised if I get home next week to find pulled up and the pipe pulled out of the ground at the water tank. Party time. Welcome to Africa. Well, that'll put paid to any elephant tracks or any elephants on this road. I know, I said we weren't going to dive into the sun, but we have no choice. It's always the same thing in the afternoon. Alice Naidu, Sharon Moser, Linda Hunt, and Vivian in Chicago. Sun dog or a sun the moon? Yeah, sun the moon obviously is when it happens with the moon, because you can't call it a moon dog. But yes, thanks ladies. Sun dog. And in quite typical Mark fashion, changed my mind's gears. Gears changed completely when that vehicle came past, because I had to assess the situation very quickly and go into a different mode completely. So it wiped out the previous few minutes. What happened about Joe Squared? Did I get to Joe Squared?
I'm talking about water tank and then your elephant.
No, but Joe Squared asked the question, and then I suddenly went into, Joe Squared, that's it. Jojo, the water tanks, and I digressed completely, talking about water tanks and elephants drinking. Yeah, well, that's my mind. That's how my mind works. I can't help it. Why do you think I live on the fringes of society, living with animals? Because I can't deal with humans. You've got to concentrate all the time. Here it works well that my mind can change gears all the time, because that's the only way to survive in nature, is being attention deficit. Because you can't let your mind be attentive on one thing all the time. You've got to be awake to all these other stimuli, because that's what keeps you alive or not. Prevents you from being bitten, stung, and rolled into balls by elephants. So unfortunately my mind changed gears, and notice I said minds, not single, plural. My mind changed gears, and I don't even know if I even got to Joe Square's question, because I was talking in a parallel universe. Yes, sorry, David, fill me in, please. Trying to make much of the last few drives. Thunder moon, Linda. I don't know anything about a thunder moon. First, I think, Linda, you'll have to refer to. There's a flower. Break. There's a flower that's barely an inch across, but it's a flower. Okay, that little yellow. I don't even know. I don't even think I know what it is. Helps me stop and listen anyway. It's not like there's a harvest moon and I think a thunder moon is a particular moon in North American native North American history or mythology or culture more than anything else. Clancy can help me out there definitely. I'm sure. Clancy, where are you when I need you? But that looks like it could be. Thinking about the name. I'll try and think of it. That's a flower. Okay, let's move along. A little yellow flower. So I'm still attentive. My mind must be wandering and changing gears all the time, but see, that's what it is. Is it like I can just, out of the blue, out of this whole vast area of brown and green, I can find a tiny little flash of yellow. All the ladies out there who deserve a flower every day of their lives, still in its natural habitat, not in a vase, whatever you want to call it, a receptacle, but a flower still attached to a plant. And that's my excuse for dodging questions. Is I find a flower or I change gears. That's not an excuse. It's a condition. Yeah, boy. Thanks, Marsha. Yeah. Marsha also just confirming that halos around the sun are called sundogs. But those are the halos around the sun. What about those tiny little patches? Okay, here's a bird we need to stop for if it stays there. little bit of a notch in the tail, and it's flown away. Okay, very well. Marsha Brown, thanks also for your input about sun dogs. So we just had a little patch to the side of the sun, as though there was a sun dog, as though there was but all we could see were the colors on one tiny little spot, which indicates to me that it wasn't as high, but it's also got to do with the angle of the sun. If the sun was directly overhead, we would have sun dogs. But you don't get a sun dog, you will never get a sun dog when it's like over there for some reason. Only when it's more or less overhead. Early morning, or rather late morning, early afternoon. I might be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong. The time of occurrence of a sun dog, in my history, to my knowledge, has been within an hour or two of noon, and that's it, under certain conditions. Dallas. Hello, Linda. Nice to hear that Dallas is only hot today. It's not hot. But hello, Linda. I'm going to miss the hot Dallas update. I think, Linda, it sounds like I'll get on just fine with your hubby. I wonder, does he wear a Stetson? I wonder what would happen if your hubby had to wear an Akubra amongst all those Stetsons in Dallas. But Linda's saying that she is married to a man that thinks just like me, but she follows him quite fine. So yeah, I suppose it does take a particular way of thinking to follow mine. And there's an African goshawk. It could be a juvenile. Just through there, but I mean, that was it. Joanne. Joanne in Michigan. Yes, I know you love the hat, Joanne. I do too. Oh, there he's gone. Oh, it's flying. It's coming towards us. Juvenile African goshawk. Can you see? I don't know if it's probably.
I got it, sir.
You got it. I mean, it's in that gorgeous acacia. It'd be nice if it came down to drink. Gareth coming? Oh, there he goes. Did you see what I see? Looks like juvenile African goshawk. Okay, copied. I'll probably go up southeaster then. Or the cut line. I don't know. It looked like they might have turned around somewhere. You might have something on Chipotle. Sorry, repeat that. Not the whole thing, just who that was from. Jeannie in Houston. Oh, okay, we're in Texas today. Jeannie wants to know what my next venture, or is it adventure? I think it's a bit of both because they mean the same thing. What the next one is going to be, and will I just go home and, well, even just going home is a new venture. So it's a case of leaving here on Wednesday. Okay, last drive is on Sunday. Sunday PM drive, last drive, I'm sorry to say. I know, I feel bad and I feel bad. And that's why we're kind of counting down. We've got like 6.5 drives left. But we are going to be packing up on Monday, and Tuesday will be sort of the final sort of checking over things, making sure we leave as we start, and I guess on Wednesday morning we'll be all moving along. And until I leave the gate, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. I haven't the faintest idea. And I think that is pretty much how I've approached life since the 20th century. Yes. I do something and I leave that something and I have no idea what's coming next, but I put all my faith in the universe that it will bring me what I want and what I... No, wait, let me clarify. There's a very big difference between what you want and what you need. You can get what you want. You strive for what you want. These are words. You endeavor to find your path to what you want, and you will eventually get that with the power of positive thinking and with belief in yourself, and do anything you want to do. But if you make want your primary satisfactory goal, you'll find you'll do what you want, but it may not be what you need. That one. And I hope it's not going to cut out. But, pardon?
The sundog, right?
Another one.
Other one.
Is for what you need. Because there's a very clear difference between what you want in life and what you actually need in life. And there's a maturity about identifying what it is that you need to make a happy life and what it is to calm your own soul and to live a good life. Very different to what you want. I think too much of what life is lived these days is about what people want and not what they need. But the irony is that actually when you go or you live a life looking for what you need in life, what you want comes along. It just happens anyway. That's beautiful. We're looking at some amazing sky features this evening. beautiful tackleberry seed. Oh, not fertile. Thanks, Sharon, except I didn't hear what that scientific name is. What's that scientific name for it? Parhelion. Thanks, David. No, thanks, Sharon. The Parhelion. Helios, obviously. Relation to the... Oh, sorry, did you finish? No. Or 20. A lot of them. I was so elephant struck, I didn't know where to look first. Or point the camera. Except I wasn't pointing the camera, you were. But you must have had the same feeling.
Exactly.
Looks like they might get there, but maybe they slow down in this big block. Firm. Straight into the sun. I don't know. I've had questions about when the documentary will be filmed and where will it be seen, and if people will be notified that it will be in a specific place. I have absolutely no idea or answer to that, I'm afraid. I think it's a wait and see kind of thing. But I can't answer that, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's simple and straightforward. I don't know. Oh. Station on that lock on Langwan Road coming. Was that you, Brad? No, I can't have them on camera. I'm sorry, I didn't know you had that lock, right? Sorry to bump you. We're in the wrong place. I'm not supposed to be here either. And I can't turn around now, so please stand by. Hang on a second. I should have left the entire area and I made the mistake. And I believe the area and I'm going the wrong way. I'm trying to leave the area and I'm going the wrong way, sorry. I have to get to a particular place. We've got something warm, because we're actually going to be far from camp when the sun goes down, because we're going to a particular spot for sunset shortly. How's it? Hi Rod. Fine and you for? Yes, it's they're heading east, but they spread out almost all the way to the Shilusi Malawan cut line. But I think they might be coming together, and also it's more than just one, it's a big slumby, so I'm sure they might split up.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Hi, how you doing? Good. No. Line up for the Madonna Gala. This must look like a thing out of I don't know. I can only imagine what it must look like when people see our rig. Yeah. Still. Okay, where are we? I've been distracted by elephants and things. Joe squares. When elephants pull up grass from the roots, are they looking for nutrients? From Joe Square. Yes. That's the simple answer, Joe Square. Yes, they are. Do you want the more extended answer? The answer is, it depends. But it does. It depends. Got Aaron giggling now. Because you weren't expecting the depends. Depends on the time of the year. Because in the summer months when the grasses are green, all the nutrients are in the leaves. So actually the elephant doesn't really want to pull up the grasses, they just want to break the tops of the grasses off. But you've got to remember that in grasses, the growth point of grasses is at the base, not at the top. So animals can eat as much as they like and it will still keep growing. Different thing with trees and other plants, because the growth point is at the end, and overutilization can inhibit growth and stunt a tree. Hence bonsai to some extent. In the dry season it's a different story, because in the dry season the blades of grass, those leaves that have dried, and they don't really have any nutrients at all, and all the nutrients are stored in the roots. So in the dry season they pull up grasses by the roots, they shake all the sand off, and they actually bite all the roots, what we call the rhizomes, because grasses don't have roots, they have rhizomes, and they bite all the rhizomes off where all the nutrients are stored, and then drop all the dry blades. In fact, most of the dry blades break off, but they have novel ways of breaking up the sand clods around the root base to knock all the sand clods off. Oh, I guess yes, your answer is yes. Hello, golden breasted bunting. Really pity, because we've been tracking those elephants since this morning. David and I were this morning, Aaron and I this afternoon. David, Aaron got them with me, even though it was, I think we got a good hard drive space to take up. Andy's going to love us. DMX patent error, pat error. Okay, you've been out of my ear. What's happening? But what we need, we should have that time to tilt that up a little bit. We need big sky. Almost like sword slashes in the sky. The remains of contrails. Yes, but maybe I need to turn the car facing it.
Not too bad from this angle.
Do you think this camera would pick it up?
Oh, well, we could give it a go actually.
I'll sort of turn into it.
Alright.
I'll stop.
Short on video, eh? They're not taking photos.
Yeah.
Double check.
No. Because I'm sure. Alright. Photos. There's a going. Must be a cheetah around here somewhere. Oh no, wait. Wait a second. No, that's not gonna. We need the sun between those two trees, and this tree might just be in the way. Pardon? See, there. You know? If I get caught, I get caught. But these grasses. Oh, that's why they were blurry as the sharks and the raptor that just flew. The question was, oh, that's not on. Is that on? Okay. The question was a very appropriate question relating to elephants, and unfortunately we're not with them anymore. They're moving just a few hundred yards away towards the dam, I hope. A beautiful sunset. But the question was about the matriarch and what happens when the matriarch dies. And you've got to remember one thing about several things, in that they are to a large extent very much like our societies. As much as we think that we are a male-dominated society, we are still ruled by a matriarchal force that ties us to our mothers indelibly. But elephants, to a very much extent, are more so. The matriarch of a family is the old lady, the grandma, and she lives with her daughters and their daughters, and over time, for millions and millions of years that elephants have been around, matriarchs have been dying. So it's this passing on in the same way as it was when we were a matriarchal society to some extent, and you look at a lot of indigenous people in continents that have not adopted the modern way of life, that still live hunter-gatherer lives. They are also very much matriarchal in there. So when the old lady dies after she's handed on all her knowledge, those daughters of hers then become their own matriarchs. Her oldest daughter and perhaps even her second daughter will become matriarchs of their own family. I'm talking about elephants now, and humans to some extent. Because we do take the line of the mother to more than we admit, perhaps, that the mother is so important in how we grow and what we learn. I still love you, Dad. You were very, very much important. But in elephant society, when the bulls leave going through teenagehood, it is only a female society. There's no other purpose other than for matriarchs to teach their daughters things so that when they pass away, their daughters take over. But it's not that one of them takes over the herd. You might have a situation where an oldest daughter will take over a herd, but you'll also have a situation where two old daughters might decide, well, we're old enough to look after our own herds now, and they split up. Because ultimately what will happen is eventually you just get one big herd of elephant with hundreds of daughters and their offspring daughters, and that's not sustainable. So they split up into their family groups, and they will still associate with each other over time. Oh, beautiful evening. They might even meet up. This is what I think that we've seen today, is that some of these family groups that have been meeting up because they're somewhere along the line, they're all related, and that's why we saw such a big herd of elephant today. They're all related, and for some unspecified period of time, they're going to socialize, they're going to move together, they're going to do things, and in the next few days we're going to see elephant tracks spreading out all over the place because they'll have split up into their individual family groups again. I think I left that elephant sighting in a bit of a mess, but you know what? I'm also reluctant to go. It's such a beautiful sunset.
Just thinking the same thing right now.
We've actually had very, very few. I wish there could be elephants here, but I wish we could have had more. I'm going to switch off in front, or do you think we should let it run?
I think let it run, yeah. In case you're doing a lot.
Maybe that's one you don't have to have. Bye. almost impossible to leave the sunset like this. Wow. Peaceful, except for me zipping up my fleece. But there we go. Because I don't know what kind of sunset we're going to have tomorrow or the next day, and I hope that Sundays is a good one, but this is a just in case sunset because it's really pretty. I'm going to move. You're not going to like me.
No, go ahead.
If we just move so that it's more open towards the sun, we get more of the clouds. If we just go a little bit more that side, just to get it so we can sort of do a... Ow! Kick my toe. Oh, that's switching off.
Yeah, I think you didn't switch it off when we did the U-turn.
That means it's a long one.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay. A few years ago, I posted a photograph or two. Well, I've had odd occasions in July and August to see this kind of a sunset. Actually, Aaron, you have to really concentrate on the sun right now. Really, really.
Really?
Yes, like really. But I could be just off to the side because now it's getting its most amazing, and we've got to see it drop. We have to see it go. Why is it focusing this thing?
Kentra, or I mean Contra.
Oh, there's plane going in now. Yeah. That's the main. I wonder if that's not like the Dubai, Mauritius sort of. Because that's 35,000 feet. That's cruising altitude. Hey, here's a hippo. Oh, that stopped now. Must be Boulder Dam. Way down that way. The third hippo. That one will get it. Actually, but it's too late now. It's too dark. Baby, it's too late now. I got someone else waiting for you. I gotta say goodbye. Okay, I think it's time to. I've had my earpiece out. David's probably been calling frantically. So I'll leave it there.
Today.
A lot of international flights.
You'll be able to see stars at this time.
No, you probably can see Venus.
That Venus there, because I can see something in the sky.
Well, it could be there, it could be in the west. So where are you looking?
I can see like something there, but I don't know if it's like a satellite or...
Okay, that cloud that comes down, where about?
Okay, you know, it basically, if you look at it, it looks like a really swift 3.
That big one.
Yeah,
that's
well,
the
the giant one where it goes, okay, it's just like a big swift 3.
With a 3 with a thing.
Well, basically, you can see, I basically see 3 lines going 1, 2, 3, and the middle one shorter than all of them. Just at the tip of that middle line that's going to like the left.
Oh, there's that one.
Can you see that little white dot?
Yes, that's Venus.
Is that Venus?
Yeah, would be.
So bright.
Yeah, it's bright, yeah. Looks like it's moving, but it's probably the cloud that's moving.
Probably a satellite there.
I thought you were looking at that 3.
No.
I guess 3 is the magic number today.
See now, we'll see this on camera.
What you doing, Aaron?
Trying to get that. You said it's Venus, eh?
Yeah. Must be.
See that, guys? I can point at it.
No, you wouldn't be able to see.
Nothing there. Venus.
Huh. Let's go on quick more. Okay. Time to start heading home. Time to catch up with Andy and David back at camp. And what's going on there? Are you still there? And Ivy and Andy and David? No. There we go. There you go. I got you, David. You all ran away. Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Glad you enjoyed the sunset. See, I knew I did it for a reason. There's some people that might not be able to watch on the weekend. I know Fabienne in Canada is not going to be able to watch on the weekend. So there's some people who needed a sunset today. And that was an exceptional one, because we haven't had the opportunity to have really good sunsets much. Because often we're not this far from camp when the day ends. Well, we couldn't be further from camp. Three is a good number today. The magic number. The Jack Johnson song. For George. Not George. What's the monkey? George. Yes, George. Not George of the Jungle. Brendan Fraser. Nonsense. The monkey in, what's that, children? What is that? Come on, help me, help me, help me. Please. No, that's George of the Jungle. George of the Jungle nonsense. Watch out for that tree. Brendan Fraser nonsense. I'm talking about that children's book and movie, and Jack Johnson played the music for us. That little monkey, I think, is he the one that wears it? Does he wear fez? Curious George. See, I got it before I got any emails. Curious George. Tales of Curious George or something like that. And lovely soundtrack from Jack Johnson on that one. I must look the right side. My top is dark, chocolate brown. Bossa Cobra. Unkempt hair. beetle scarf, Orvis suede, but inside out. Why didn't you tell me it's inside out?
What is it? I thought that was a style, dude. I thought that was a style.
Great fashion sense, Mark. Put your clothes on inside out.
Was that backwards?
It was. See?
I thought the thing was like a new thing.
No, I was just advertising Orvis. Makers of fishing gears and gosh, I don't know when. Car fell off the bus. Where'd that scarf go? It's supposed to be time to log off. Okay, sorry, I had my earpiece out. Okay, we're going to run a little. Because, you know, initially when we started 5:30, still really lovely sky, still a little bit of light. Look at that Aaron. I mean, there's still a little light. It's a little. So there's it's just now bright orange stripe in the sky. Hoping it's all there. Not as beautiful. It's such a long way to go home. We'll be home after dark. Take a look in. Leave a teak in the road. When it drive home, you might as well just ride with us. She's left and she's left, taking her guest. That's her wires. She's waking up. Stretching and fighting. Okay, well then you might as well, if back, set it down. Oh, crazy. There's a leopard or something. Well, we've got a long way to drive home. It's getting, and signal's getting all. Gonna say goodbye. See you at 5. No. Crazy, Mark. I wake up at 5:30. See you at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Our time 6:30. And deer and full of a couple of hundred people. Get that card tonight, and I'm very, very touched. Amazing thing that you've done. Look.